The opinions and considerations reflected in the film belong to the Public Union Promotion of Culture and National Traditions and do not reflect the official position of the State Support Agency to Non-Governmental Organizations of the Republic of Azerbaijan. The play Khurshid Banu Natavand by the prominent playwright Ilyas Efendiev was performed on the stage of the Azerbaijan State Drama Theatre in 1981. Heydar Aliyev, first Secretary of Azerbaijan, personally came to watch the character of Natavand on the stage for the first time.
Eğer bu dünyada hoşbaklık denilen bir hakikat varsa, o yalnız insanın öz vatanına, öz benliğine,
I remember very well that when the great leader Heydar Aliyev came and watched this performance, he said to the playwright, "Mr. Ilyas, Natavand was introduced to us as she was." Moreover, he said an interesting comment that the playwright had acquitted Natavand. What was this justification? Because some satires were written about the Khan's daughter, and there were unnecessary opinions about her. In 1981, the Kremlin censorship did not allow the play to be staged under the name Khan's Daughter. Although the author and director of the play changed the name of the play to Khurshid Banu Natavand, they did not touch the most important part of this play, the last monologue by the main character.
Onu da deyin ki, bu uçurumlu yolların sonunda bize özgürlüğünü, öz hoşbaklığını tatmış, azat Azerbaycan gözlüğü.
Heydar Aliyev did not express his opinion about the last monologue. However, if he wanted to, he could at least recommend removing that monologue. Sometime after the premiere, there were attempts to remove that last monologue through Glavit, but soon, due to an unknown reason, the chief censor changed his mind, and after that, every time people watching this play remember Natavand as a historical figure who wished for the freedom of Azerbaijan, Karabakh, and Shusha, and sacrificed her life and property for it. Khurshid Banu Natavand is such a character for us that every person has his own Natavand. No matter how our artist painted Natavand, it seems that everyone had their own Natavand. In my own opinion, our great actress Amalia Panakhova looked like Natavand, and I saw her potential as a great actress when I staged that play. Amalia Panakhova brought Khurshid Banu Natavand live to the Azerbaijani performance for the first time in a real sense. Why did the character of Khurshid Banu Natavand bother the Soviet Union rule so much? Why did the character of Khurshid Banu Natavand bother the Soviet rule so much? The first reason was that Khurshid Banu was a descendant of the Karabakh Khans. Born in Shusha in 1832, she was the only child of the family and the last heiress of the Karabakh Khans. So they called her Duru Yekta, that is, the only pearl in the palace. The 19th century in which Khurshid Banu Natavand lived and created is characterized as the Silver Age in Azerbaijan. During this period, Azerbaijan went through a turbulent history. Azerbaijan opened the door to Europe, and Khurshid Banu Natavand was one of those who opened this door. I would say that such women had the key to the door of Europe. Khurshid Banu was an excellent representative of an elite who spoke Arabic, Persian, and Turkish fluently, had excellent knowledge, and represented the generations of the Khans of Javanshir and Ziad Oghulari, living in Tbilisi and Baku, meeting famous cultural, public, and political figures, being the wife of a general of Tsarist Russia. In short, all these factors and environment had an impact on her creativity and thinking. Khurshid Banu Natavand spent almost all her property inherited from her ancestors, all her wealth, for the development of cultural and literary environment in Shusha and for its enlightenment. After the death of her father, Meti Gulu Khan, in 1845, all his rights were transferred to his daughter, Khurshid Banu. In this period, the literary environment in Qarabağ was already being formed in an advanced way, and literary assemblies began to appear. A follower of poetic tradition of great poets like Nizami, Fuzuli, and Navai, Khurshid Banu was a poet by genetics. Her mother, Bedir Jahan Beyim, and her aunts, Govar Agha and Agha Beyim Agha, were poetesses. In 1872, at the suggestion of Khurshid Banu, her accountant Mirza Rahim Bey Fana organized the literary assembly in the palace. Thus, the Mejlis-i Uns was created, and Khurshid Banu Natavan, nicknamed Natavan by Mirza Sadiq Pira, the elder of the Majlis, became the chairwoman. One point should be specially noted that while in Europe at the time women used male names to publish their works, in Azerbaijan a woman led a meeting attended by men, and not only one woman, but also other poetesses could comfortably attend that meeting and recite poetry with men. As soon as Khurshid Banu Natavan wrote a poem in Qarabağ, they wrote imitative poems. They tried to be like her, tried to be like Khurshid Banu Natavan. This shows that Khurshid Banu Natavan was a very talented poetess, in the true sense of the word. It was not only a meeting of poetry and literary assembly. At the same time, various art fields such as music meeting, exhibition of paintings, and calligraphy began to develop there, which were parts of Khurshid Banu Natavan's activity. The creation of Mejlis-i Uns was a great event in the field of literature. Until then, there was no place for poets to gather and discuss their problems, and at the same time, there was no general rule. The assembly created the order in this field, led the formation of new assemblies that brought together poets, singers, and other people of other arts. Moreover, at the same time, Mejlis-i Uns gave a strong impetus to the development of enlightenment and education in Qarabağ. In order to write a ghazal, one should be literate and know the aruz rhyming, and could write it as well. That is why educated people gathered at Khurshid Banu Natavan's assembly, and it gained a great fame. The memories about Khurshid Banu Natavan were reflected in the personal archive of Uzeyir Hacıbeyev's elder brother, Zulfikar Hacıbeyev, preserved in the foundation of our institute. From those memories, we learned that she blessed both Uzeyir Hacıbeyev and Zulfikar Hacıbeyev under the Quran, and after reading the appropriate verses from the Holy Quran, she sent them to the Gori Teachers Seminary. In the 1870s and 1880s, Khan's daughter became famous as an influential businesswoman and philanthropist in the Caucasus. In 1911, the Caspian newspaper wrote that together with Qarabağ, the artists of all Transcaucasia were under her protection. Azerbaijani students studying abroad, poor scientists, poets, and artists received help from her. She donated 1,000 rubles to St. Nina School for girls established in Şamaxı, and allocated a special fund from her annual income for the construction of roads, bridges, and construction of school buildings. This house where Natavan lived became a center of good deeds that spread light around. The Qarabağ Kolen horse bred by her won first prize at the World Exhibition in Paris. In 1867 in Algeria and in Moscow in 1869, and was awarded a gold medal and certificate of honor. The famous 227-page Flowered Notebook album, compiled in 1886, is kept in the manuscript fund of the Republic. And, of course, Khurshid Banu Natavan was a public figure who loved her land, homeland, and people, and defended them in every word and action. In 1861, after the death of her mother, Bedir Jahan Beyim, the Russian government resorted to various heinous acts to take control over Khankendi. However, Khurshid Banu proved her right of succession to Khan Kendi, and the Russian government was forced to retreat. By creating such artificial problems, the Russian Empire was trying to annoy Natavan and, as a result, deny the right of succession to Khan Kendi. This issue was addressed by the play Khurshid Banu Natavan by Ilyas Efendiyev. Khurshid Banu visited Tbilisi to get back these lands. They asked her why she needed so much territory and if only Shusha wasn't enough for her. She answered that she was not alone. She answered that the peasants, the villagers, were in need. They did not have schools and madrasas. She said that she would use these lands for them. Shusha was waiting for her. She was the hope of Shusha. She could return most of the lands. This is her work. Thus, when hearing the name Khurshid Banu Natavan, the main reason that irritated both the Russian Empire and Bolshevik Russia was the life of this personality and her services to her homeland, Azerbaijan. For this reason, the Soviet regime tried with every effort to smear her and wipe her name off of history. However, it was impossible to forget the love of Natavan, who deeply touched the hearts of the Azerbaijani people by orders, instructions, and censorship. In 1960, a bust of Khurshid Banu Natavan was erected in Baku. In 1981, the performance of the play Khurshid Banu Natavan was shown for the first time in the Azerbaijan State Drama Theater with the participation of national leader Heydar Aliyev. On August 2, 1982, with the participation of Heydar Aliyev and Zarifa Aliyeva, the opening ceremony of Khurshid Banu Natavan's monument was held in Shusha. I was here with my father at that time. Look, there was a bust of Khurshid Banu Natavan a bit far away from here. After Shusha was occupied by Armenians on May 8, 1992, Natavan's house was destroyed. The bronze bust of Natavan, as well as the genius Uzeyir Bey and Bulbul, were pierced by bullets, were stolen and taken to Tbilisi to be sold. They were discovered in a non-ferrous metal smelting station and brought back to Baku. Look how contemptible and mean they are, that they shot memorial busts of historical figures with bullets, insulted them, and then took them away, and even wanted to melt them down. The occupation that lasted for nearly 30 years could not make the people of Azerbaijan forget the historical lands, nor the historical figures who tirelessly fought for these lands. On the contrary, the legacy of the Azerbaijani poetess Khurshid Banu Natavan was more widely known, studied, and loved in the world, crossing the borders of Shusha, Karabakh, and Azerbaijan. After the 44-day patriotic war, which put an end to 30 years of occupation once and for all, Natavan Spring is full of water again. We have restored the Natavan Spring. When I last visited Shusha in January, I said that we would restore the Natavan Spring. The spring will be at the disposal of Shusha residents and visitors again. The contemptible enemy had dried up this and all other springs. This shows that Shusha has always been an alien city to Armenians. But now, Shusha is reviving, and the Khangazi Spring, one of the symbols of Shusha, has been restored. I drank water from this spring today. Water means light. Water is blessing, and water is memory. Memory that bridges the past and the future. This memory transmits the spiritual values created by Khurshid Banu Natavan, the love of the country, the love of Natavan, which made the enemy kneel down from generation to generation and serves to build the solid foundations of our future happiness. The water from this spring also means mercy, peace, stability, and development. Therefore, the soul of Khurshid Banu Natavan in the building complex of Agdam is happy. She is happy because the real owners, the people of Azerbaijan, return to the lands of independent Azerbaijan, where she has her eternal sleep. Historical justice is restored. We restore historical justice at the expense of strength, determination, will, courage, tenacity, at the expense of the national spirit. Natavan, Uzeyirbe, Bulbul, they are the embodiment of our national spirit. Their dear memory has lived and will live forever in our hearts. Karabakh is Azerbaijan.